You ever notice how cosmic brownies on the front very specifically say, wait, no, I think it says on the box, never mind. Cosmic brownies on like the bulk box you can get, they don't call themselves brownies. Like that's the name of the product. Cosmic brownies is the name of the box, but the subtitle says that it's chocolate flavored candy because of how much fucking sugar is in this. Anyway, hello everybody. Hello Vince, Timberbalm, Mr. Palm, or me. I don't know how to say Mr. with 2 R's. Tim Talon, One Rads, and Sean, what's up? Yeah, so entering a rant on Cosmic Brownies. These are my childhood. And every time I go to local heritages, I pick up a Cosmic Brownie. I shouldn't. You know, I'm gonna have diabetes one day and this will be the cause, but every time I go to pick up, you know, my ham and cheese for my sandwiches, I grab myself a Cosmic Brownie, because the one thing, when I was a kid in school that I loved more than anything in the world, the one thing I loved more than anything was when I opened up my lunchbox and I found a Cosmic Brownie. I was the king of the lunchroom. I was the one with the power, and I could negotiate for anything that I wanted. And like, I could even like take off the little chips and sell them off for something. Like, dude, I was king whenever I had those. I literally just started building your posse. Yo, what's up? If you have any questions, feel free to ask me during stream. I'll be happy to answer them. Finally got the kinks worked out on my Core 1 kit. Prints like mint now. Hell yeah! The Core 1 kit is... I've not built one, so I can't speak on the process. But once it's built, it's actually relatively easy to troubleshoot and to tune in relation to, you know, like other Core XY printers. I would just eat it. Fame. But for that one moment, when every kid's like, man, I would trade you for anything for that, you feel like a king. And dude, the ones you can get in stores are so much bigger. Like, I remember the ones that I had as a kid were like a quarter this size, or like half of the size. Like, you wouldn't get that much of the brownie, but like to a kid, it was this big. Look how big this is. This thing's huge. Nomad is very happy. We're celebrating my birthday a little early. Next week, I turn 28. Holy shit. It's been almost a year since we started streaming. And my birthday is next week. And it's also going to be a year since Positron released. A lot has happened in the last year. A lot has happened in a year. Like, holy shit. So much has happened. It has been such a wild ride, and I have been so very lucky to share it with you guys. I'm very much looking forward to next week. I have so much stuff planned for the birthday. I mean, I also don't at the same time. So, I'm meeting someone awesome on Monday. I can't say who. They're just a personal friend, you know. Then I'm meeting another personal friend on Wednesday to celebrate my birthday with. And then that Friday, we're flying out to Rocky Mountain Rap Festival! And we're gonna celebrate my birthday there. Because it just so happens to land on the weekend of my birthday. And then when I get back, me and my family are gonna be celebrating my birthday. So we are, hey, dude, I'm hyped. I am very hyped. I'm just... Life's good. Despite everything going on, life's good. At least for me. I can only speak for myself when I say that. Got myself my cream soda Dr. Pepper. Alright. So I did not stream on Monday because I didn't get a weekend. At all. For context. Oh, I clicked so many buttons. What did I just click? Okay. Let's see. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've been working for 11 consecutive days. 11 consecutive days. Why have I worked 11 consecutive days? Mind you, I'm pulling like 9 to 10 hour work days. I can't say yet, but it's all volunteer. Like voluntarily, I decided to work over the weekend. And voluntarily, I am deciding to work as late as I am. Nobody is telling me that I have to. Nobody is forcing me to. If I chose not to, no one would be upset that I didn't. So, I want to make that very evidently clear that I am doing this to myself and no one is forcing me. In fact, I had to ask permission. So this is entirely on me. Yeah, you saw on stream that I was, yeah, I had to take a break, and I decided to hop into that stream and just, hey, hi, hello. Anyway, so last stream, we were working on organizational stuff. More specifically, we're working on multi-board testing. Obviously, since then, I've kind of gone a bit ham. I have 3 rows of this up on my wall now because I figured it out. So yeah, we did testing here with the 1 tile, you know, trying to figure out how this new thing works and then trying to figure out how this works. I figured it all out. At work, I now have bins. I have multi-bins that I'm using and they're great. I'm actually using them to store screws and stuff. And wow, I really like it. I really like it. If you recall, I was very hesitant at first with multi-bin. I was just very hesitant. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. Wasn't sure if I wanted to you know, jump fully into it. But you know, we did, and I really like it. It actually is pretty versatile, and I'm pretty impressed in what it's able to do. So we have it currently on one of our walls at work. It is covering half the wall. The only reason it's not covering the other half as well is because I can't reach that other half because of a table. But it will be covering the entirety of the wall. And we're using it to store our tools. We're using it to store our bins and other screws and stuff. And we're expanding it. So we're storing more shit on there. I may go as far as to, sorry. I may go as far. I forgot how sticky cosmic brownies are. I'm pulling up a photo. 1 second. Gotta crop out some information. Here. That's it. You can see we got the bins on the top. And yeah, they are connected to the old multi-board system. Now on the right, we actually have the multi-bin boards as well. You'll notice the weird pattern going on there. So let me show you what we're doing. So at work, this is what I've decided. So I've kind of unified both the way I'm doing it here at home and the way I'm doing it at work. That way, there's just one way to do it, at least for me. And I don't have to, like, change up my mechanism. I was going to originally do it this way here, but I decided against it because I wanted to go for different aesthetics. But this is how we're doing it. So we're using a 3x3 multi-bin panel, and we're only filling in the corners for now. Why? Because the goal is to mount the multi-bin to the wall. Now, I've decided on these multi-bin panels because these are the standard. One second, let me grab. So these, roughly, very roughly, are about the same size as the panels that we were printing before. Now these are 5x5s. At work we have 6x6s, so this actually is a perfect one-to-one scale. So we're doing these 3x3 grids, and we're only mounting the top corners. What that does is it allows the middle points here to be available for mounting bins and other things, which again align with the other things. So, you know, if I do this, that is in alignment. So that was the plan. This was to be used for our tools because you have a little bit more flexibility, and this is there's more support for this right now. That's just the truth. There's more support for this. So this will be used for our tools and for more general purpose things that we just want to cat up and plug in. Whereas this is going to be used more for our bins, for our actual storage of large items. So we're using both systems. Now, because they are obviously compatible, the connectors that allow the bins to attach to these can also go on here and here. So it's pretty universal, which is really great, which is why I'm actually really liking this system. That's how I was able to do what I did in the image. But for here, I've changed it up a little bit. So for here, I have a very specific style that I'm going with. And that is, I am only printing the grids. I really need to move these. These need to stop being here. That will eventually happen. I haven't touched these in a bit. I might just throw them out because I'm moving away from this mounting system. And I printed all these to make a giant one for this wall here, and I'm not doing those anymore. Anyway, so I'm using... I love how I say that I really need to move those after they fall off the wall. And then immediately after I put them back on the wall, they fall off the wall again. We're putting these somewhere else now permanently because they just broke. Oh wow, that broke hard. Okay, note to self. Multi-grid, multi-board does not survive drop tests very well, especially if you use PLA boards. Hey Damascus, hey LTX, what's up? We're gonna put this on the other side of this door here, along with all the other so just gonna put that over there. So now I never have to worry about knocking it over ever again. See, it's not here. Can't get knocked over. It's not there. Move fast and break things. It's not for Silicon Valley, right? Okay. Now another thing we're going to troubleshoot. My Prusa Mini has been giving me some issues. But right before the stream, I kind of figured it out. So here is, you know, first layer of my Prusa Mini. Oh, it's great. Uh-oh. Under extrusion, it got clogged. My extruder was too tight. That was the problem. So it, like, pinched the filament. So I fixed it. I had an issue where one of my nozzles got clogged, and then I just decided rather than unclog that nozzle, I just upgraded them to 0.5 nozzles so that they can be... I'm not using my Prusa Minis for detail, so upgrading them to 0.5 nozzles allows me to use them for more functional things and actually be able to print a little bit faster. So they can kind of go toe-to-toe with my Mark 4S's a little bit, just not in quality, which is fine. That's totally fine. But they've been working great. In fact, yeah, all the tiles I just showed off here were from the Prusa Mini. Anyway, so I've been using this for a specific build plate texture because I really like it. It's not as aggressive as PEI, and it is just really subtle. I like it. It looks good. So if you look here, you can see there's the two textures. There's the more matte texture of the cryoplate, and then obviously the PEI texture of the actual inserts. So I love that. I love it. So what we've been doing, and I'll use the orange ones here for viewing. So we put one up here. We put one down here. And then we essentially mount this to the wall with the inner parts. Then I don't screw on any other points until I get another plate attached. And then what that does is once these two plates are aligned, then these are aligned and I actually screw them into the wall. And then we just keep expanding and building off that. So every single plate, every time I print one of these grid pieces, the 3x3 grids, I print 2 of these. So 4 in total. It's 4 pieces. That way, with every print of the grid, I can expand the board on my wall with appropriate mounting points. Because one piece on the wall is already going to have the 2 mounting points on the one side. So if I print this and I go to mount it, then I'm going to use those connectors on the other side. And that will mean, okay, hey, now those are dangling. All right, new plate, more on that side. That allows me to keep tiling in any direction I need to. And that's how we've been doing. And that's been very good. Let's see. Let me rotate this camera around so you can see what I've done. Let me clear some space real quick. All right. Rare turnaround camera. Okay, let me just adjust this real quick. So, as you can see here, this is the setup that we've been going. And, for example, this right here, this is not mounted because, again, this is free floating. So this corner here is not squared yet. This one is squared, 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 not squared. So those are yet to be installed. As you can see, we put all the tiles in. At work, I'm only doing the corners because, again, at work, I'm just working on getting these in place. Here, I'm actually putting shit on here while I'm building this out. Because, you know, for example, I'll use this napkin on those, damn. Here's an example. So, I've gotten complaints about having the grid up on my desk. And admittedly, it's a little flimsy. Here, if I angle this down a bit, you can see it. It's flimsy. This is not very strong. I've tried strengthening it with my own design here. And that has worked. As you can see, that has made it way more rigid than it was before, but it's not perfect. So what we're doing is we're moving to the wall, and this is an example of something that definitely needs to be wall mounted. This is a little bin I printed that just so happens to fit my 1x2 by 3 blocks perfectly. So these are obviously very heavy because of what they are. Bamboo engineering plate had my favorite texture, but they discontinued it. Oh man, they did? That's a shame. Why? Admittedly, I recall that, and that thing was great. I use an engineering plate for everything. Oh, you know, I know why. It wasn't a consumable enough. All their other plates are stickers that can be replaced. So, yeah. I mean, that makes business sense to me. If all your plates are stickers, then you're going to sell more stickers. Hello, hello, Sebas. I don't know why I just went British there for a second. Hello, hello, governor. Would you like a cuppa? I'm trying to remove this piece from here. I have to walk all the way over here to read chat. Hello, governor. Oh man, I feel like I'm gonna stab myself. This is... Ah! Didn't stab myself. But I still feel like I am. Ladies and gentlemen, when you're working with plastics, please don't stab yourself. This has been a PSA from Nomad's Galaxy. I have stabbed myself with this spatula before. Not fun, especially the sharpened ones. I had a sharpened one, and I slipped and I slit myself. It's not great. I wouldn't recommend. 1 out of 10. Ah! Startled me twice. Okay. So now that this is removed of the clip-in pieces, we should be able to just go right about... What the fuck? Okay, there we go. Yeah, we'll try it right here for now. Okay. That in? There we go, that's in. Now again, these are pretty heavy. Nice! That's good. Oh, shit. Well, that's not good. That worked too good. Uh-oh. I just ripped screws out of my wall. Oh, shit. Okay. Shit. Okay, that one on the left was not plugged in yet, so that's fine. But this one was, and that just got ripped out of the wall. Oh no! It worked too well. How did I not see that coming? I really should have anticipated that. Ah, good day, Reverend. Time to get bigger screws and anchors. Yeah, none of these actually have anchors. I've been putting little screws in every spot, and it's actually been working really well. Admittedly, I just pulled it in like the worst way possible. I shouldn't have done it that way. Trying to... Okay, let me get new... Okay, first off, let's undo this one. Okay, there we go. All right, now we need to just put that back in. I said, we just put that back in. I said, we just put that back in. There we go. Oh, that is not where it was. Okay, we take that out. we shift this back into place. All right, and then I wait until I get the freaking the plate back in. All right, I'm gonna get a donor plate. Oh man, off to a great start. Off to a wonderful, amazing start. Okay, put in the donor plate. So it looks like I had 2 screws in there, and both of them failed. Mind you, that actually just highlighted a reason why I need to do what my original plan was, which is to put all 5 screws in. I only put 2 screws into this one. I should have done all of them. So we're gonna go ahead and put that screw back in. That is not gripping onto anything. Ha! All right. Okay. We're gonna get a larger screw. Hold it out. Screws are dry with an old. What kind of animal are you? Listen. They are. It is screwed into studs in some spots. In some spots, it's screwed into studs. It's just not all into studs. Luckily, I think this is one of the spots with studs, so let's actually put a stud length screw into here. Watch me be wrong. I was wrong. There's no stud there. Nope, no stud. There's no stud there. Okay, where the hell's my stud? Okay, the stud's here. These are screwed into studs. So, I'm okay with this. It just means I shouldn't put load-bearing ones on here. But these ones are into studs. So, that will be fine. Let me actually just make a stud. Yep, that's a stud. That's a stud. That's good. That's stud material. That's in there. There's also a stud over here, so it is mounted to 2 studs. There is mounting to 2 studs. It's just some of these are just mounted straight into the drywall. Is that the smart idea? No. However, because of the size of these screws being as small as they are, I could upgrade these to drywall anchors. You know, I absolutely have to. So it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to put this on the wall over there. Because I actually want this to be part of my tools. I just wanted to show off the strength of the wall. And, well, needless to say, I think at the same time we just also highlighted a problem with my current system, which will be rectified. We will fix it. Just not right now. So essentially, the way that this is working, just to ease some tensions that may have just occurred. So I know for a fact that most of these are not going to be in studs. The ones that are going to be here, vertical, and over here, vertical. So I know that I have 2 stud locations. Now, have I marked them on this to know where I should put studs? No! But they are roughly in the middle of the whole structure so that weight is distributed amongst everything. All of these are mostly screwed in not for weight, for not for holding weight, but to mostly keep it aligned. Most of the weight is going to obviously be held up by the studs themselves, which I'm going to just double check and make sure that the screws in this portion are all actually into the stud. Like that one, that was too shallow of a screw to be in the stud. But we're gonna make sure they all go. Let's grab our proper screws for this. Sup, hello Sync? How's it going? Hello, fellow multi-board enthusiasts. Yes, hello, hello. I definitely didn't just rip stuff out of my wall. Into a stud. Okay, where's the next one? Right there. I like with my new setup that I'm actually able to do stuff like this. Just turn the camera around and focus on another part of the whole studio. There we go. I could probably hang off of this, no problem. All right, so those are now in the studs. I would prefer 3 studs if possible. So let's see. We know that studs here. Yep, we have one all the way at the edge, so our 2 studs are right here. Which means, based off spacing, okay, cool. We have another stud over here, which is where I do plan to put an edge. So it's going to be supported on the edge, in the middle, and on the edge. So we're good. We're good. I was planning on ending the multi-board right here so that there would actually be ones immediately where this next stud is, as you can see there. So awesome. That means this whole thing is going to be supported by studs directly. I don't need drywall anchors. Haha. That was fun. So the ones that are not going to be load bearing are just going to be standard. I do have to buy more of those screws though. And I need to start printing multi-board for this room. I can actually start putting screws away. I'm torn though. I don't know if I want to go with, so I want to go 3 wide. 3 wide is going to be the standard I want to go with. But what I don't know is do I want to go 2 tall or 3 tall? I feel like 3 is too much. I feel like going like that should be good, but then they're really deep, and I want to make them. I have to see. You know, I'm going to start with just a 1x3 and see how many screws I can pack into there. I also need to convert all of my positron bins over to this and see how well it works. Because I could just, I'm probably going to put a multi-bin grid on my desk that I can just mount everything to. Go. All right, I need to slice up. So we're going to continue mounting all of this. I need to slice some stuff up here. All right, so let me do that. So let's open up Prusa Slicer. And in Vivaldi, let's bring up beta.multiboard. We're going to go to, where is it? Multi-bin, bin grids, multi-bin plate. We're going to go 2 length by 3 width. Firm, multi-bin plate. Didn't I say 3 length? What? Okay, 3x2. So I need, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these. Okay.
Set this to MK4S. How long is just at strength settings? Let's, hold on, I gotta top bottom. Set to 4 parameters. Infill 25%. An hour and 20. Ooh, all right. Might as well double up. Let's see, how long is that? Is it exactly double? Yep, 2 hours and 40. All right, then do Black Widow. And Drought. Okay, there we go. So we won't be able to mount it to the peg to the studs tonight, but it'll be ready for tomorrow. Okay. But in the meantime, we can get the rest mounted. So we'll do that. All right. So I got 5 tiles here. This is exactly what I need to go fully across. These up the right way. Ooh, gal, how'd I check that one? So the cool thing about these is that they kind of snap onto the actual connector pieces, just a little bit, not really. Not like a solid snap, but it's solid enough to hold it in place so that you can get the rest up. Now, okay. Now that that's there, let's grab a pair of these. We're gonna go ahead and flip these together. I need to get my webcam feed up there so I can kind of see what's in range of the camera. Okay. There we go. Now I can actually see what I'm showing you guys. All right, so the way that these pieces are, there's that little indent right there. There's that one. Kind of see the difference? So they just kind of go together like this. And now the trick I've learned with these is you peel this one back a bit. And that, especially if you print these on a PG, should allow it to snap out. It's a tight fit, which is good. You want this to be a tight fit. I don't understand why this is no longer like printed as one unit. It used to be, which made a lot of sense to me, but whatever. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna use 2 of the tiny screws to hold it in place. And then I'm gonna drive it in with a drywall screw. First one here. Okay. And second one up here. Oh, that one just punched through. Okay. I'm gonna grab a drywall screw. One for the stud. Now, the stud should be here-ish. I think it might be here. Let's take this off and try. Ooh, that is moving around. I don't like that. Okay, so slightly different approach. I'm gonna put this back. So I don't like that that's moving around. That's just showing me that one, it's not really in correctly. That's just gonna happen. I'm gonna try this top right one now. Oh, yep, that feels right. Yep, that is a stud. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to do that to this one here. We'll guarantee that we're in a stud. Looking at that wall, probably would have looked sick. We space the multi-board. If you space the multi-board off the wall and wash down the wall with RGB. Oh yeah, probably. But as cool as RGB is, it is a lot of wiring, and I don't really want to be bothered with all the wiring that goes into doing RGB. Go. All right. Another one in the stud. Good. That's all supported by the stud now. Now we're going to take these more decorative ones. And we are going to put that in here. Okay. The ones we just put in, the smaller ones, they aren't really made for, or they're not really intended to hold up weight. They're mostly there to just keep things organized. And that is what they shall do. And that print looks like a mess. It's printing. I need to actually tune my Prusa Minis to accept the... Actually, no, that's just the one Prusa Mini. Hold on, what? Yeah, this one is doing 0.5 just fine. This one is a mess. What the hell? The same G code. I'll tighten up the extruder a bit, see what happens. I feel like that's already an improvement. I've messed with this extruder a bit, so its extrusion just isn't really precise. I mean, okay, that definitely is looking better. But maybe it just wasn't tight enough. Alright, we'll see. I need to do a lot more tuning on my minis. It's not like the Mark IV where it kind of just works. Minis do require some love and care and attention. Also, one thing that you probably have noticed is that the wall is totally black. Originally, I was going to make the outer frame colored, but I decided I actually did not like that. It actually added too much color. Where with this, it's just enough. Not too much, it's not too little. Just enough. Now, I've had people ask, hey, why don't you just print this out on the Excel and have one giant grid? Well, the idea is that if I need to get behind this for whatever reason, like this panel right here, I can remove 1, 2, 3, 4 little bolts and pop this whole thing off. So with a larger panel, I would have to take off a bunch more stuff. That's why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. If you have access to a large format printer and you want to do it in a larger segment, go ahead. Nothing stopping it. Especially in the multi-bin. Multi-bin is a lot easier to get behind because, hey, oh, I need to get behind this. Okay. Tile. Please. Whereas with multi-board, the original tiles, it was a lot more difficult to get behind things. So it wasn't as easy. But with this, yeah, you can just pop out these tiles. And you can also, I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's really not much. Like there's a decent, like there's not zero flex. Like flex does exist in this, but in the 3x3 tiles, it's a lot less because we're supporting it from the corners. So the most flex is here, and the least flex is obviously in the corners. That still makes it really easy to pop out the middle piece, obviously. And since we have so little flex, I can just go in, pop that in. And if I needed to, you know, reinforce that further, I could easily just pop this out. I could put, you know, a wall piece behind it, and then pop this back in. So it is really easy. Here, let me just show you the example. So, pop that in. Okay, it's a little hard to do when it's actually like screwed down, and you want to do this not with a diagonal piece that's meant to be like the four corners, but more like a vertical piece or just like a one in the middle. But it is relatively easy. Just go in and add those connectors when you need. I really am starting to just love multi-bend and multi-board as a whole. It's well thought out. It really is well thought out. Gotta give the guy credit. You know, I honestly didn't think I was going to be able to stream like this wall. And I realized, hey, I can just aim this camera over here and bam. So, hey, guess what? We're going to do whoa! Hello! Excuse me. We're going to do 2 filament giveaways tonight. Your chances of winning filament have doubled. Congratulations. Yeah, we're going to do 2 drawings tonight, so if you don't win one, stay tuned, because you might win a second. And the reason is I did not do a filament giveaway on Monday. Yeah, that's when I normally stream. So yeah. Also, stream update for next Monday. I may not be streaming because of who I am meeting with on Monday. Yeah, I may have, might have a dinner to go to, kind of thing. What's up, PD FPV? I've been looking at that wall system. Has a ton of options. Thank you for showing it off and how it works. No problem. Very happy to explain or to share my experience with it. So far, my experience has been really positive. I mean, like here, for example, this is a LCT screwdriver holder that I designed, and obviously it just took a chunk out of the wall, but that's because this is a really tight connection, and I can just go back in and pop this in very easily. I could remove this from the peg that it's in, or I could just kind of leave it and go, whoop, one up here now. Yeah. But of course I can, with a little bit of elbow grease, remove it, put these tiles back, and decide, oh man, I really, really didn't like where that was holding my screwdriver. So I'm gonna go and bam, right there if I wanted to. I don't want to put it there. I actually want to put it back where it was. But I can do that. There's a thing I can do. You just starting to realize I need to be a little bit careful. What's that noise? Oh, it should be fine. So I'm gonna keep it on here on that one, and then this just drops right in. Now this is a remix I did. So this holder for the LCT screwdriver, as well as the precision screwdriver, is a remix of mine. Ordered 8 rolls of PTTJ and enjoying my Neptune 4. What kind of wall and infill settings you print to class in? I might mod that to fit magnets for toolbox. That sounds like a great idea. And there actually is magnet mounts already available for you to download. I'm not sure if this is available to the public yet, but if you go to beta.multiboard.io, they have a site that you can kind of click around and customize it as you need. Sorry. Oh, we have a failure. No. That's all right. That's what the cancel object button is for. We had adhesion failure on one of the beds because I need to clean it. Okay, so my settings. I use the same settings for everything when I need strength. So these are 25% infill gyroid, 4 primers, 5 bottom and 5 top layers. That makes this a pancake of strength. This is Filament PTG black. And actually, yeah, all this is Filament. So we got Filament orange PTG, Filament jet black PTG. So all this is Filament. Damn nice, that stout. Yeah. For context, you know, I work for Prusa, so this stuff is cheap to me. But if you need a good cheap PTG that is of Filament quality, get Jesse PTG from Printed Solid, from my employer. Which, hey, we're gonna be doing a filament giveaway, 2 filament giveaways tonight from Printed Solid. So if you want a chance to win some Jesse PTG, stay tuned. We'll be doing that later today. Or tonight, rather, not today. It's already late in the day. And if you have any questions about Jesse, let me know. Happy to answer it. Okay, so something's wrong here. And I'm trying to figure out why. It looks like this is off kilter. Because that one... Oh, wait, no. Is that now lining up? Oh, that's work. Okay. We're good. We're good. I feel like this is off kilter a bit. Fine. It's fine. You made the O period O face before. Did I say something shocking? Is Jesse Filament silk? No. Elixir is silk. But it's not the silk you think it is. So when you think of silk, you think of stuff that's generally not strong. Well, I'm gonna burst your bubble here. Guess what? It's because people make it wrong. So normal silk that you can find from other manufacturers, they just add TPU in order to make it shiny. That's all they do. They don't do anything else. Saber Bob, hey, what's up? The filament giveaway. Okay. So they just add TPU to make it all shiny like this. What we do is we don't just add TPU to the polymer. We also ensure that the PLA polymer binds with the TPU to form long polymer chains. So the special thing about Jesse Elixir, or Jesse Silk, whatever you want to call it, is that our silk, our elixir, has PTG-like strength. So it is almost as strong as PTG. We have not done actual structural testing on it, aside from us literally trying to break it with our own hands, which is surprisingly difficult for us. Like we print a plate with layer lines going like this, and then we try to break it along layer lines, and it's not easy. It's not impossible. You know, it will break, but yeah, you get PTG-like strength. It's pretty cool. Okay, since increasing the tension on this Prusa Mini, it's printing so much better. All right. Let's go ahead and get these in. Board's looking great. Thank you so much, Cyberbob. I'm working hard on this. And I'm thinking this might be the last piece up here. No, I'm gonna go one higher. It's gonna get blocked by the spool holder here. I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna leave it open to expansion. So I'm gonna leave a few pieces sticking out in case I want to go upward at least one more. I think I do want to go upward one more, but this is definitely going to get in the way. So I don't really know how to address that. Let's see. Let's see something. Okay. bring out the big boy tools, shall we? So if I put that there. Okay, yeah. So if I go any higher, it's going to go above this. I can do one more tile. Yeah, I'll do a row of 1 tiles up there, and that should be fine. Do a row of 1x3s at the top there. That's what we'll do. So I'll continue to expand that, and then just do a row of 1x3s. Where did I put? Oh. Grinder 42, what's up? Go, that's in. I wish I could show off the wall I have at work. One day I'll do a live stream from work if work allows me. I'll see. That would be pretty cool. Live stream from work. How do you like the bolt locks versus the snaps? I'm trying to decide if I switch mine to bolt locks. Okay, so I'm not a fan too much because I don't really have the right tools to install them. But I will say I definitely prefer the snaps. I prefer just like putting it on and then it'll bam right onto it, and then being able to just remove a few things and then pull it off. However, this does feel way more secure. Like, that is a definite. This feels way more secure. The bolt snaps, if you give enough pressure, the snaps will unsnap. That is kind of the nature of a snap. But with these, the way I'm distributing the weight, yeah, I can very, yeah, I'm not putting my full weight on there, but I want to say I probably just put a quarter of my weight on there, so they're probably about 50 pounds. And it obviously didn't just fall off the wall. So take that for what you will. That is not a scientific test, but I did just put 50 pounds on that. Hi, Callie. Hello. Callie is here. Just joined us. We common folk. So what do you owe the peasants this honor, Lord Callie? I don't know where she went. Go. Oh, there you are. Okay, there we go. Oh, I don't have any screws in that one, so I gotta wait. Yeah, so my method for mounting these and expanding the actual wall itself is I don't screw these in until they have at least 2 points of contact, which helps align the whole grid itself. And that allows the point of reference to be a little bit of a floating point of reference, but as long as the first grid was aligned accordingly, the rest should follow suit. Should being the key word. So now that, for example, I have this grid bolted in to the rest of the wall, I should be able to screw this piece in, this one up here, and it will remain aligned with the rest of the grid. So I can put another piece up here, across, and it will be properly aligned. Because at this point, when there's two, the wiggle room for this is very little. It doesn't wiggle as much. But I'm going to wait, because this is the top piece, this is the final piece, this is the final connection point. I'm going to wait a bit before I actually put this out. Because I want to get the rest of these up here in appropriate positions. So I put that, so now only 1 point of reference is only being held up by one piece. And grab a new tile, flips to the back, make sure all the arrows are pointing up, and then I put this on, press that into place, and this will get aligned by me snapping that in. And then once I bolt those in, that's going to put enough pressure on here to make sure it doesn't move. Now, this does limit me somewhat, because I have to make sure essentially the corner brackets have one of these bolt locks in it in order, you know, to stay mounted to the wall. But I can put another grid on top of this grid. So if I don't like this for whatever reason, and I want to change up these inner tiles, I can literally just mount another grid right here. This could be a subgrid. That's the cool thing about this system. This could end up just being a subgrid to a more dynamic grid on the top half of it. Like once you start diving into multi-bin and multi-board, and you start getting into the more nuances of the system, you start to realize just how insane this system can get. Because this system can get pretty crazy with how modular it is. And I think that's one of the biggest issues, though. So one of the biggest problems with multiboard is actually how modular it is. It is intimidating as hell to get into, because you don't really have, you know, a starting reference. You don't really have a point where it's like, hey, start with this. If you pay the guy who made it, if you pay him, you can get his starter pack. And the starter pack, you know, you can download for his membership tier. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of the starter pack being behind like a membership. That doesn't sit well with me. I will be very open and honest. Like, that doesn't sit well with me. I am fine with, say, the step files being behind the paywall. That I'm kind of okay with. Because you can still work with STLs. You know, you don't need the step files in order to make mods for the system. It is pretty straightforward and somewhat easy to reproduce. But I think that's going to be one of the biggest barriers of entry, just being that the starter kits are behind that paywall. However, I will say, you don't need the starter kit. You really don't need the starter kit. Just print a few like 1x1 tiles and just start experimenting. Start poking around, seeing what works and what doesn't work, and just start having fun with it, and you'll start to quickly realize how the whole thing works. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I do. You'll start to very quickly realize how everything clicks together, how everything can work together. And some things you'll have to wait to actually like do more, to use the full border tiles. I'm curious, I'll do that or use some core tiles. You lose out on some small threads doing that, but then you can switch out any tile. Yes, that is why I did this. So I don't use these middle ones that often. I just don't. I don't use it for that often. So for me, missing out on some of these, that's totally fine. I use these more. I use these middle ones here more, so that is more valuable to me. But as I mentioned before, because of how multi-bin works, this could be a subgrid. So I can add on one that has more of these smaller ones, which opens up more possibilities for me. So when I go to add bins, they're just going to be mounted to these points here. They're not going to really be mounted to the actual like grid pieces itself, but I could easily create another grid that utilizes that more effectively. That's the really wild thing about this system, is like the whole subgrid thing. And that's what I'm really excited to dive into once I actually dive into that. you can see that this did not print so well. But the backside quality does not matter as long as it looks good in the front. It's like that image of Homer Simpson with, you know, all the fat sucked in on the back. But we determined that there's what that screws there. Again, I think this right now, mind you, I think this is like the power move, which is doing the 3x3 grids. So the reason I went 3x3, aside from it being easy to remove the panels more effectively, I went with this 3x3 because these fit on the Prusa Minis. So I can have these print on the Prusa Minis as well as my Mark 4Ss, and then I don't have to like, oh, only this machine can print the panel. No, if I ever have to print a replacement panel for whatever reason, the Mini can do it just as fine. So I don't have to wait for one of my other machines to be available to do it. I originally was going to, let me show you. So originally, before I jumped into the multi-bin, I printed this out. This was printed on the XL. This is almost the maximum build volume of the XL. This was a pain in the ass to print because it kept peeling up, but you can see here I've done all of this with just 2 of these tiles. Maybe 4. I could have done all of this. But the downside with this is, hey, let's look at this real quick. So you can kind of see the dividing points while I have this up on the wall. If I wanted to get behind this section and only this section, well, I have to take off this entire piece. And imagine I have a ton of tools on here. I have to take off all those tools to get behind it. If I want to get behind this right here, take off this tool, take off that tool, remove those bolts. It is as simple as that. So that's why I stopped going with this, because only the XL could print these. Nothing else could print this. But now, all of this can be done on all of my machines, including my positron. So this ended up becoming a highlight of what you can do with a small build volume printer. Mind you, you can't do this on like a Voron V0. You probably have to go to 2x2 grids, but you could still do something wild like this. Yeah, modular and stuff. I'm loving this. Like, I was so wary about multi-bin, because I was kind of trying to hop into Gridfinity. But honestly, the bug bit me, guys. The bug has bit me. Now, okay, this now has 2 connections. Not sure if yeah, you can see this one. This one has 2 connections. That is rigid. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in 2 drywall screws. Yeah, not dry. Yeah, I'm calling them drywall screws. I'm gonna put in 2 of the weak drywall screws this side here. I'm gonna put it in the top left corner. Just nice and snug, just so it holds it against the wall. And one in the bottom right. Now, the reason I do it in this pattern, so for the ones that are not structural and are just for alignment, I do it in the top left and bottom right. The reason I do that is because that tells me, hey, this one is not structural. The ones that have the screw in the middle, that tells me this is a stud piece. And that's when I can rely to be as strong as I need it to be. Whereas this one, if I put too much weight on, it probably will rip out of the wall. Until I get the other piece over here and that goes into the stud. Then that can be structural. But for now, no structural. Now, of course, that could have been remedied if I just used a larger grid. But no, I don't want to do that. I am happy with what we have. These needle nose pliers that I got, these are great for this, because they can get in between there and actually screw this in. My recommendation for these, so, okay. Ones that you can print for this are like the full round ones. Don't do those. Do these half ones. Because with these half ones, you can get a really fat flathead in there and do it, which you could do on the round ones too. But with these, you can get needle nose pliers in on the sides, and that can help you avoid damaging the threads. You might damage the outside, you know, aesthetic, but I can still go back in here and, you know, use the threads, which is really good. The reason I'm using these ones in particular and not just normal bolts is because I want to have those threads as options for things in the future. All right, this one is not. This piece is a bad piece. Come on. There we go. Wait. All right. This is so cool. Now, let me just... Uh-oh. Directionality check. Make sure I actually put these in the right direction. Uh-oh. Did I put this in the wrong direction? I know. No, I put it in the right direction. When do you your YOLO flow cal? Oh, when you do your YOLO flow cal, do you have ironing? No, I don't use ironing. No. Honestly, I don't really do flow calibration. I just let the printers figure it out. The minis obviously don't have a method of figuring it out themselves, but the Mark IVs does, and so does the XL. So I've really moved away from I've moved towards I'm a Prusa shop now, man. Take that for what you will. I used to try, you know, with Vorons and everything. I have had bad luck with Vorons. That is my fault. Vorons are phenomenal machines, and if you actually follow the instructions correctly, you will have a perfectly fine printer. But I've been cursed with Vorons. Even like the Sobol copies, I've been cursed, man. It's so fucking cursed. Maybe that wasn't fully aligned, but just wanted to get a stud one in. Hey chat, make sure to like and subscribe if you aren't already. Our goal, let's try and get to 1,000. I don't know by when, but I do want to get to 1,000. So if we get to 1,000, I unlock the next creator tier, which it's not that important. But what it does is there's ads on my channel already. Not many. I don't want there to be many ads, but what that will allow me is it'll allow me to get monetization from those ads. So, you know, for those that already have to deal with ads, then we can do that. But more importantly, what it'll allow me to do is it will allow me to control the ads so that, hey, so one thing Grant does that I'm definitely copying is have a goal. So like say we make $15 or $20, then I can turn off ads for that stream kind of thing. Because that is a significant amount. Okay, now we'll put one in there. That's what we'll do. I'm shocked by this little thing. It's a piece of garbage. I would not recommend anyone buy that, but does its job. Doesn't do it great, but it does it. A C+ is better than an F. I guess that's one way to put it. Certainly not an A+. I mean, I've had like tiny hand drills that can't even drive into studs. The fact that this can put a screw into a stud, that's pretty good, actually. All things considered. All right. Where'd I put the... Oh, I put it underneath the screwdriver. Let's get warm over here. Next to the minis. Also, chat, I'm happy to say I remembered to reboot my computer. I almost didn't. So it almost would have been like, what, 20-something days without a reboot on my computer. But I rebooted. I did the thing. I'm trying to make it a habit to reboot at the end of streams. And just before the start of the next stream. That way, we don't have any more lag issues like last time. Because last time was bad. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and screw in the rest of these. Relatively straightforward. Alright. Bolt locks are a lot more time than steps. Yes, they are. But they are a bit stronger from what I have tested, at least briefly. What I do, honestly, my strategy, I almost ripped out the power cable of that mini. My strategy is whenever I do printing, I try to do overnight printing. The snaps, what I do is, because I do 3x3 grids, these print in just a couple hours. For every tile that I do, I print 2 of these quad snaps, or quad bolts, whatever they're called. So that way, essentially, as soon as one of these tiles is done, I can mount it to the wall in some way, shape, or form. And then what I do is I have another printer. Don't you mean no? These are 3x3 multi-bin grids. They support 6x6 multi-board pegs, but this is multi-bin. So these are 3x3 multi-bin with 2x2 snaps inside. It is hard to tell, yeah. Honestly, kind of why I went with this the way I did. So let me show you. I briefly mentioned this earlier, but I'll show it again because education is important. Oh, it's over here. So here's what I was originally doing, which was 5x5 grids of these. Now I'm doing these, which is 3x3 multi-bins with these 2x2 snaps. Now these 2x2 snaps have that little mini peg bolt, just like these have in the middle. So I'm essentially getting this out of the workable space here. Except the seams here don't have it, so I am missing out on a few. But again, the really cool part about the system, and the reason I'm going with the multi-bin, is because what I can do is I can print out these snaps that have mounting plates. Or I can actually snap this to this. And then what I have is I have a tiered, an entirely tiered grid. So I can have one that goes like right here that overlays, and then immediately I get those middle snaps back. So I am effectively just, what's it? I'm using far more. I'm using way more features of this system than what one would normally use. I'm going to mount. Where is my small level? I have a tiny level that I use very often. I'm trying to find out where I put that. It fell down at some point. Where did I put it? Where did I put my small level? Oh, there it is. Not the regular size multi-port snap, yeah. Yeah, these are all, well, these aren't snaps, really. So, no, I cannot just put snaps into here, which kind of sucks. I would have to use an adapter board for this, but I'm designing all my own things. So, for example, here's the thing for my my LTT screwdriver. So 1 second, I got my hands full. Let me put this up real quick. So this I'm gonna put right here. Oh, ooh. Haha! I found an issue with this design. I mean, that'll work. Oh, I found my first problem. That's actually really funny. I mean, that tilts it back, and that's a really light thing, so it works. Oh my god, it's level. I didn't expect this to be level. I love it. Okay, so this was my attempt at using the midpoints, and obviously that's not going to be working out too well for here. But anyway, back to what I was saying earlier. So I designed this, which uses just a normal push-in, and obviously it's for my LTD screwdriver. And hey, this is on my printables page if you want to download it. And this obviously just pushes in. So I can put it anywhere on here without the need for an additional snap. So I'm going to put it right here. Actually, no, I want to move it down. We're going to put it right here. Just like that. Simple. Oh, you guys can't see that. All right. So yeah, it's just right here. And hey, if I want to move it, I just, you know, take that out, wiggle it, and move it. Simple. And if I really want to, I can just pop out the whole tile and move the tile. But what's nice about this is, say I want to do a bolt snap, I can, you know, just go to the other side here on this side and put the bolt on and then snap this whole thing back in, which makes the system a lot nicer. Because it's just, it's more dynamic. So, no one right there, it's right here. Oh. I like this. This also, the reason I went with this is because this looks more like a wall than a grid of the other things. Because the other one, the multi-board, the multi-board is cool. And when you have a whole grid of it, it looks fine. But it definitely looks, I want to say, more makery. The wife appeal factor is much lower of just the raw multi-board system than the multi-bin system is. Now, I don't have a wife, so I don't have to worry about that factor. What I do have is a landlord, known as my mother. So I have to make sure this looks good for my mom to accept it. So that is why I've gone with this system over the multi-board itself. I still get most of the benefits of multi-board, and I can still make like snap adapters. So like I can still get snaps and whatnot. It's not that big of a deal. So I'm not missing out on anything. I just have to be a little bit more conscientious of how I'm designing how my stuff attaches. Which, most of the stuff that I'm going to be mounting to this is stuff I'm going to be designing. No. I'm not going to have a lot of load-bearing stuff. Anything that I have load-bearing is going to use multi-connect. So it'll be able to slot on and slot off. And that's, of course, going to use like all the parts of this. So it's going to be able to hold a decent amount of weight. I'm not like, you know, putting a positron up here, so I'm not gonna have to worry about like holding up 3 kilograms. Though I could do that. I could make a shelf that holds a positron. That could be pretty fucking dope. But more importantly, I just gotta make sure everything fits. Let's take that off. Okay, I just realized the solution for these. These are clearly designed to go into the middle pins. Well, guess what? Oh, never mind. It worked the way I thought it was going to. Again, these are the standard hooks, so they're not really like meant for doing too much. Like standard hook things. And it's holding up one hell of a weak piece, so, or light piece, so not worried about it. This is not a perfect setup. Let me be very clear about that. It's not a perfect setup. It is my preferred setup so far in my experience with multi-board. But that's because I'm also going to go absolute apeshit with this and do things that kind of were intended, but like not fully intended. I still love that the whole thing's actually level. That's funny. That's really funny to me. All right, that one is 50% done. Punch it on my brownie. See, it's 9:40. We're gonna do a giveaway in about a little less than an hour. Here's another reason why I like this. Here's a headphone holder. A little thing, yeah. Pops right in. Now this headphone holder has bolt snaps, or bolt screws on the back. I don't have those bolt screws right now, but when I get them later, I can very easily integrate them with this whole system and put on my hi-fi mounts. These are very expensive headphones, and I am trusting them to that. This goes... Yes, I have multi... Yes. The multi-bin stays on during. But the reason I have it in my bedroom is because there are a few things that I'm doing with multi-bin for my everyday carry. So for example, I have a 3D printed wallet. Now, here's my wallet. I don't have any of my wallet things in here because I don't want to show off my wallet things on stream. But here's my wallet. Very simple, slim wallet that was printed in our Nightshade Bessie Elixir. And I love this thing. This thing's great. This is held up for 3 months now. I want to make a multi-board thing where I can just slot this in. So I can just put it on the wall and just a little holder. Like, it's not a complicated thing. It just slots right in. That way, I always know where my wallet is. That might be something we design on stream today. I took out all the cards and stuff so that we can do that. But yeah, the idea is that I have a holder for my wallet so that I never lose my wallet. I constantly put my wallet in places I don't remember. Another thing I want to do in my bedroom is, hey, let me actually put a place to hold my glasses. Because same situation. I often put these in weird spots that I don't remember where I put them. I can see just fine without these. These are mostly for, being able to... These are for general sight. I can see just fine without them, but it does cause additional eye strain. These are very weak prescriptions, but still. It's on the wall. Look at it. The wall. Physical. I may put a filament holder here or something. I'm tempted. The reason I say that is because my minis are right here. So let me show you what this looks like when the minis are pressed up against it, shall we? So here is my toolbox that we're still working on. I can't push it all the way against the wall right now, but you can kind of get the idea. My minis are here printing away, and the idea is that I'll be able to just, hey, I need a new plate. Oh shit. Maybe the caliper shouldn't go there. Okay, swap the plate, put it back. Okay, plate done. Let's put this plate back. There we go. So the wall here is going to be kind of the maintenance for my minis, as well as other auxiliary things. Obviously, I have a pair of calipers here. Thankfully, I don't care about this pair of calipers, so they're fine. I'm probably going to move that around somewhere else. Yep. Things for snippers, but I don't have any snippers to put in there. Oh shit, keep tripping on stuff. Yeah, where are... Oh, there's a pair of snips I can put in there. These are fancy snips. I don't know where I got these from. So I'm going to move this over so it's more central, but there we go. Pair of snips right there. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Of course, we have my self-designed, let's rock these out. If you haven't seen these are really cool. These are my 608 holders / dispensers. So hey, oh, I need a bearing. Okay, need a bearing. Okay, okay, okay. I'll put it back like that. Oops. I love this thing. I love this so much. Go ahead and put this up here. Higher up, I don't need it all on the bottom. So if you, like me, have a ton of 608 bearings, you just have a little dispenser for whenever you need 608 bearings. Why do I have so many 608 bearings? I buy them in bulk. So they're cheaper. I eventually will go through a lot of them. It will take me a while, but I buy them in bulk, so that's why I made these dispensers. They're great. They hold 2 of the normal, like, sleeves of 608s. So, I mean, yeah, if you have some 608s, that's a nice way to put them in a way that they don't take up drawer space. Also, my printables. I think what else? Yeah, this mini is printing a lot better. I'm probably gonna have to reprint these because they don't look that great, but okay. That wall is done for now. I just put an ESP32 on my mini to try out Prusa Connect. Oh yeah, Prusa Connect's great. Both my minis have ESP32s, but as you can probably see, I run them on Ethernet because I prefer Ethernet. Ethernet is just slightly more reliable. For whatever reason, this has affected Prusas for a bit now. Prusas
sometimes the Wi-Fi isn't. Sometimes the Wi-Fi bugs out, and I've noticed it's with mesh networks. So it's with like more enterprise networks. It's not like a widespread issue. Hey, Keth Davis, welcome. So Prusa Connect kind of will bug out. So if you have Unify, for example, and you have a ton of APs, if you only have a few APs, you're fine. If your devices are not constantly roaming, you're fine. My devices, for whatever reason, are constantly roaming. And that's because I have a lot of APs, because this is a relatively large home. So I have an AP in the garage up there, which is, and I have an AP behind this wall here. And sometimes my printers will pick up the one in my garage. I could set it to lock them down to a specific AP, but the Prusas don't really like that. It's a weird mesh networking thing with ESP. ESP32 devices don't like mesh networking in general. My BQ Kinomi hated my network. It's an ESP thing. It's not a Prus thing. It's an ESP thing. It would constantly disconnect. It would not reconnect until I rebooted it. And sometimes my Prusas have that issue because it's the ESP having a problem with my mesh network, with my super hyper aggressive mesh network. So I'm hardlining all my Prusas for that. If you do not have a Unify mesh network, you're probably fine. If you have a super advanced Unify mesh network, you may have some minor issues. Yeah, just be wary of that. You are probably fine and you are probably not affected. I am the odd one out here. But yeah. Again, that's not a Prusa problem. That's just an ESP problem. Okay. Let's see. We got about an hour left on stream. An ES problem, if you may. Very funny. That's his good joke. Ubiquity is what you need to do. I have Ubiquity. I like Ubiquity. Sensible chuckle. Sebas, are you also a consumer of Danger 5? Please tell me yes. Sounds like we need to take this Mendelin guy down from a C minor to B diminished. For those of you who do not know what Danger 5 is, it is a modern TV show that is made to look like an old, like, 60s TV show. Dude, it's free. The whole thing is free to watch online. Go watch it. It's great. It's made to look like a 60s, like, spy show, but it's made in the modern era, and it is wild. It is insane. So it's set during World War II, and the whole objective is kill Hitler. It's so good. Yeah, there's a talking German shepherd. All the German shepherds can talk for whatever reason. And they speak German. they speak German. But there's one where it's a robot German shepherd that's owned by the group Danger 5, and you know it goes into infiltrate, and it's like, what mode would you like to select? And then one of the guys goes, sexy bitch activated. And then it goes in, hello handsome, in German, and it goes, oh, mein Hitler's dog, and then it kills him. It's like, wait, what did I just watch? What did I just watch? I want to pull it up. Screw it. I'm not monetized yet. Fully. And this is free and available online to watch. We're gonna pull this up so you guys can just experience a clip. We're just gonna watch a clip. But you need to experience this. This is a requirement. This is your homework. We are going to elevate our collective existence together. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Is that the clip I want to show? No. You know what? Yeah, this one's good. So this is not the one I wanted to show, but this one's just as good. You've been rewatching IT God? That's a good one. Alright. Let me pause the music real quick. Hold on, where did I put the music? Okay. Music paused. Here we go. You ready for this? I'm gonna put my headphones on. This is too good.
Не проблема, Pierre.
Everybody sit down.
Greetings, Gun.
I said sit down! Now, you know how I don't like to use the sit-down gun, but this morning we just don't have time for mucking about. Major Allied cities have come under attack.
Nazis?
Close your mouth.
It's so ridiculous, man. It's so off the walls. It, like, every scene has something like that. You'd think you would get bored of it. You'd think you'd get tired of it. No, they're all fresh and they're good. Oh, it's so good. It is so good. Lulu. Now you know how I don't like to use the sit-down gun. What's up, Jason? How's it going? We're just talking about Danger 5. Yeah, there's a scene where they're in essentially Jurassic Park. That is literally essentially what it is, and they're trying to get this Magdala guy, and there's like these 8 people that play like a jazz band, and so it's all musical theme, and one just goes, and once they hear that the Nazis hate music, one of them just grabs a shotgun and is like, sounds like we need to take this medical guy from a C minor to be diminished. And I'm like, that is quote of the year right there. That is too good, especially if you're into music like I. Okay. So, what were we doing? I don't remember, man. Oh, right. Let's bring up beta multiboard. I want to go over a few things with that. Okay. Large plus screen cap. There we go. Okay, so we gotta plan some things out. So I got, if you look at my tiny camera up here, hello, up here, I have a lot of screws. A lot. Now, I know roughly about how many this will fit. I may or may not have discovered IT Crowd on some sort of outlaw setup watching shows from Canada. Yo, yeah, the British version of IT Crowd is golden. Go watch it. Okay, so I need a 3. This may just fit in a 3x1. It might just fit. It might be a bit tight. So one quick way you could figure out if screws that you have. So each one of these is a tile. So if we look here, ooh, that's going to be tight in a 3x1. I know for a fact this is going to be tight in a 3x1, just based off what I'm looking at here. So, a 2x2x1 could work, but I'm thinking a 3x2x1. That would definitely fit it, but it feels way too large.
I think what I'll do is a 3x1x2. Or 3x1x1.5. That should work. So this is what we need to do. So first off, we're going to go to multi-bin shells. So this is important. These are very important. These are the different types of bases that you have. The standard base is what we're going to go with. That's what's going to let you kind of click things in. Standard click and extension is if you want to do a bin to a bin. From what I understand, universal click and extension can go from a bin. It can click into a bin, or it can click into the multi-board wall. And pop-in extension is just a pop-in extension. I don't really know how much that does. All right, but anyway, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do top to multi-point rail. We're going to do 3 wide. We're going to do 1 tall. And let's see here. We can do 1.5. I think 1.5 will be adequate. I don't think we need to go any larger. And then we'll take that. So now we know it's 3x1x1.5. Now you could go down to multi-bin drawers and make your own. We're not doing it. I just want simple drawers. So non-divided, 3 by 1 by 1.5. Simple as that. So now we have this and this. Well, that's what we're going to have to print. So now if we go back here, there's another thing we need. So we click up here to multi-bin. We can just start by multi-bin itself. Click on multi-bin grids. We're going to want, where is it? Light panel. Is that what we want? No, it's not what we want. Where is it? Is it in shell? No. I forgot where I found it, but it is... Is it you? Not you. Okay. All right, I'm forgetting where it's located, but essentially what it is it allows... Is it a light panel? No, that's not it. I'm forgetting what it's called. I found it at work. It makes sure that if you choose to do a certain mounting method for the multi-bin wall, it makes the bin flush with the actual connection method. I'm forgetting the name of it. Is it just a normal plate? No, it's not a plate. It is not a plate, whatever it is. That was funky. They're all drawers. We'll need those. Nope, nope. I'm forgetting the name. Once I see it, I'll know what it is. It's essentially just a trim piece that goes onto the bin pages. That's all it is. Yeah, I wish I had one of the ones from work to show you guys, but I don't. I think I'm about to find it though. Hi, Callie. Hold on, where are you? Where are you? There's so many freaking grids, man. Open paint and draw it for us real quick. Dude, I would be drawing a square for you. It's essentially a pancaked multi-bin board. And once I see it, I'll know it. I just gotta find it. Yeah, here's the other problem with multi-board. Multi-board. There's just so many freaking files. Like, a lot of this could just be done as a generator. And then, like, all these files wouldn't have to be stored on things. I have nothing against things. This feels really unnecessary. Callie agrees with me. Come on. Oh, gosh. Hi, Callie. You spooked me. I was fully anticipating you to jump up here, and yet at the same time, I had no idea you were about to jump up here. All right, we're almost there. I know we are. We're almost there. I wish this would load faster. Hello. Oh, we've gotten so far. It's like, wait, do you really want to keep scrolling? Yes, thanks. I want to keep going. No, I didn't click on anything. Why did you do that? How dare you do this to me? What? Oh my god. Oh, seriously? Callie. Oh, you clicked on the button. I'm a little grumpy with you, Callie. You're being super cute, but I'm a little grumpy with you. Callie. Yeah, so this is what I meant by, like, you'll be able to mount grids to grids. It's wild. Where is it? In drawer accessories? Maybe? No? Stacking? No. You are... You are in the weirdest position right now. Oh, that was a weird position for Callie to be in. Okay. Where would it be? Wait, is this it? No. Okay, hold on. Nope. Multi-bin. Grids. Grid. Is it the light panel? Am I just being dumb? I feel like I'm being dumb and it's the light panel. I feel like I'm being really dumb. I don't want to go here. I want to learn more. Doesn't tell me anything about what I'm looking for. Hey, Matt, what's up? I think this is it. I think this is what I'm looking for. This looks like what I'm looking for. It just snaps to the bottom of the bin. Wait. Doesn't it look right? I'm trying to figure out why it doesn't look right. Oh. What's so funny is that I found it at work in a recommended things thing, and then I've never been able to find it again. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna connect to my work laptop, and I'm gonna just see what the thing is. All right. So let's look at my downloads at work. Not show you my work screen, which definitely has some things I'm not supposed to show. Okay. Oh no. We're gonna find this if it's the last thing I do. It's not a mod. I know it for a fact. It's not a mod. That's what's driving me crazy. I know it's not a mod. Ooh. Is this? This is it. I found it. It's this. This goes on the bottom of the bin. And it does the thing. I forgot what it was called. But we figured it out. Okay. Side edge. Let's drag those files in. Multi-bin panel. Yeah, that's definitely it. So if I drag in, so let me download the other files. Okay. Yep. Yeah, see how that's lining up? That's correct though. Or hold on, is it the light? Am I going crazy? Am I going crazy? Oh, I might be going crazy. Hold on a second. Is it actually the light panels? Okay, no, it's definitely not the light panels. That's definitely not it. Yeah, that's definitely not it. So it's these. It's these. No, so what this is, this goes into there, and then that just makes that a flush thing. So then I attach this to the actual, So for me, this is mostly an aesthetic thing. That's really it. It's not really functional. It's just aesthetic, because I can use that as an accent color on the bin. That's really it. Yeah, makes it square rather than just like, hey, this is attached in a weird way and it's gonna look like that with those sticking out. This is now there, and then the other board is right beneath it, so it makes it nice and flush. Okay, so we're back into here. Now we need multi-bin drawer. Go. I just need a handful of these. Make them in white. I don't really have that much white. I'm good at making an orange. I have a ton of orange. So, think of it this way. I have a lot of black and I have a lot of orange. The stuff is super cheap for me. So other colors are a little bit more rare. Yes, the bins will be in black. I'm going to make the bins in Galaxy Black. So the actual bodies of the bins will be Galaxy Black. And then everything else will be Jet Black and Spruce Orange. And that's just because it's what we make the most of. So yeah, that's really it. So I have a lot of availability to it. Essentially, yeah, we just have a lot of those colors, so I can kind of take it home when I need it. Not free by any means, but it is certainly it's cheap. It is cheap to the point that I essentially consider the reason everything is black and orange is because that is the cheapest for me. And it is insane how much I can get. Can't disclose exactly how cheap it is, but yeah. So it's not stuff that we would sell. Yeah, I am not happy with this Prusa Mini's print quality. I'm going to cancel this print. I don't really know what to do about it. Let's see here. It's just... that's under extruding so bad. Like, I feel like I have to rebuild the extruder on this Prusa Mini. Might reach out to Prusa Sport at some point. Try and figure it out. I'm going to try and reprint this. I'm going to up the... let's see, how far is that? Much... it's a lot more tension on the extruder than the other one has. It could also be that the extruder gear is just really gunked up, but we're out of that extruder gear replacement because it's such a common thing. I think I just need a new extruder gear. Yeah, it looks like it has fuzzy skin enabled. Slap a pellet extruder on the Mini. I've been tempted to slap a Revo, but it's a lot of money for a tiny printer. I don't really want to do that. I just put the Bondtech in Mini. I'm getting tired of the old one clicking and not feeding right. Bondtech extruder for the Mini. Did you have to tune anything for that, or did it just work out the gate? Bondtech the Mini extruder.
price in price $75. Whoa. It does have it has a internal filament extruder built into it though. What is the guide like? Okay.
Okay, so I have to upgrade E steps if I do that.
I am very tempted. I am very, very tempted. It seems to be straightforward. Yeah, you must update E steps value to 415. So, where can I get this? If I just search this, where can I get it? You know, oh god, that's expensive. I can get it from Slicing. Oh, KB3D. Hello, friends. Bontech Prusa Mini Extruder upgrade to IFS. This is a set of plastic parts that allows you to upgrade the previous Bontech upgrade kit for Prusa Mini. Okay, so I need the upgrade kit for Prusa Mini. Oh wait, here it is for 75 from KB3D. Nice. All right, TJL, have a good night. Well, my friends over at KB3D have it for 75, which is slightly cheaper than it is on Amazon. This one looks like it comes... The extruder's evolution of Bontech's previous high-resolution extruder upgrade for the Mini. That's new filament sensor for Prusa Mini and Mini Plus for seamless integration. Okay, so this has the thing built in, which is nice. I do like that. I think it's a drop-in replacement, aside from having to update the E-steps. That's bracelet. Okay, bracelet. That's good. Full tension, quick release. More choice of materials included in the kit. Okay, the filament sensor is not included. It's fine. I have 2 of them. Okay. I think I'm gonna grab 2 of these. Yeah. Now, if I'm going this far, let's... Oh, I'm not sharing the right screen. Let me move over to... There we go. Where is it? There we go. Hey, Clownhammer, what's up? Oh, you just finished the Z column and the V2 extruder. Nice, yeah. V2 extruders, please. Okay. So, yeah, got the Bontech extruder. Cool. That's gonna be a good, worthwhile upgrade. So tempted. I am very tempted. Oh, man. I don't need it, though. I really don't need it.
I do not need it. I don't need it. Alright, so that's it. I can get E3D nozzles from here. Neat. I have to grab those. I don't need those because honestly what the Prusa Mini has already is honestly really good. My multi-board needs it? No, it doesn't. Okay. That's for the MK3S. I don't have an MK3S. I don't need this. I don't. But I want it. Alright, let me turn this off because I gotta see how much, thanks to you guys, how much affiliate code do I have? Or how much affiliate rewards do I have? Let's see. I might be able to get this for free. My rewards. Oh man. I don't have that many. I forgot. I've used a lot of the reward money. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, remember, if you ever need to grab anything from KB3D, you can do so using our affiliate link below. And if it's your first time ordering from KB3D, then you can get $5 off. You know, I'm tempted, but with what's going on with tariffs, I don't want to do them. So I'm just going to convert what I have into a voucher, which that gives me $27 off. I go to checkout, and this will be really cheap. In total, it's still $121. I got free shipping, essentially. Oh, man. And let me go to my account affiliate program. And where is it? Nomad. Yep, KB3D X Nomad. At the cart. Do the checkout. The spending money stream. Haha, no. It is not the spending money stream. Though we are definitely spending a little bit. There we go. So those Bond Tech extruders will be here eventually. I am trying to spread the love, you know, pay for you know, KB3D, etc. To be able to help offset things like the tariffs. I already paid. What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm just trying to help them out and whatnot. There we go. Nice. So that will be in there. Sweet.
I'm happy with that. That looks like a pretty cool upgrade that we'll do. Cool. My first official Bond Tech on. I've always had the hey, Matt out for the 5 for new toys. Thank you. That helps a ton. High five, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, so the way that YouTube does memberships and stuff is I don't get paid out until I make $100. So yeah, so every super chat, it helps a lot because it gets us to that $100 threshold where they will actually pay me. So thank you so much. I do appreciate it. We will absolutely be streaming that when it comes in, like 100%. We are 100% gonna be streaming, and I'm very excited to do that. I'm looking at like what else they may have for the mini. Yeah, let's look at this real quick. What else do they have? Okay, so this is all Prusa stuff. So okay, obviously that's for the Prusa mini. Get Prusa mini again. So okay, yeah, this is all for MK3S. I don't have MK3. I have MK4, which obviously MK4 does, you know, the next trigger. So, oh right, 1 second, guys. It is 10:30, which you know what that means. That means it's time for a Filament giveaway, or at least to open the form for the Filament giveaway. Now remember, we're doing 2 spools tonight, so there's going to be 2 winners. 2 people are going to win tonight. So there we go. Go ahead and hop on into there, and we'll give away 2 kits tonight. Or not kits. We're not giving away kits. We'll give away 2 things tonight. So go ahead and hop on in there and have fun. All right. Yeah, this is all I have for this. So luckily, this does bring me to using Bontech gears, which means I don't have to wait for things to come in stock at work. Sweet. There's other mons I'm tempted to do the Prusa Mini, but for now, Alright. So let's plate this out real quick. I want this to be in PTG, along with this. Those are gonna be PTG orange. This is going to be in Galaxy Black PLA. So I need to print 3 of these. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's 4. There we go. It's 3. Means let's go up here. 1, 2, 3. I can fit. How many of these can I fit? Looks like maybe 3. I see. I had a Justin question. I was wondering why the spool diameter was bigger than other filaments to avoid having to do box packaging. Actually, that is an interesting answer. Why is Jesse wider than other spools? So, the answer I give to people. So we get a lot of complaints that, hey, Jesse doesn't fit in an AMS. Because our spools predate the AMS. Like, we were winding our spools long before Bamboo even existed as a company. Now, we use the American spool standard. Where did this standard come from? Well, there are many things in the United States that use 1.75 millimeter diameter. Now, to figure out why we use 1.75 millimeter diameter filament to begin with, we have to first look at where did that come from. So some of the first filaments that we used in 3D printing was Weed Whacker line. Weed Whacker line is 1.75 millimeters in diameter approximately. That's what we used as filament. Now, okay, great. We didn't really have a solid way to wind that onto spools. Hey, Ellisink, thank you for the $5. High five. Guess what else the United States was wound with a 1.75 millimeter diameter? Welding wire. For TIG welders and whatnot, I think it's TIG welding. They use 1.75 millimeter diameter welding wire. So you have a 1.75 millimeter weed whacker line, 1.75 millimeter spool designed for wire. That's how the two came together. When we started in the United States extruding filament, we used the US standard for 1.75 millimeter spools, which was at the time, and still technically is, welding wire spools. So, we have been using welding wire spools for years. It is what we originally started with, and is what we're using right now. Now, there was a time where we used cardboard spools. We moved to cardboard spools to become more compatible with things like the AMS. And that was awesome. We used dense cardboard that actually worked with the AMS rather than corrugated cardboard, which didn't. But there was a problem. There was a major problem. And it was that those cardboard spools deteriorated way faster than what we actually thought of. Like, we didn't. It's difficult when you do a product change like that to really do long-term testing. And the spools just deteriorated faster than what we anticipated. We weren't happy with that, so we went back to our welding wire spools. Now, why does it not fit in the Bamboo AMS? Well, there's two answers to that question, neither of which can be 100% confirmed unless you work for Bamboo. The primary belief, and what I believe to be the real answer, is Bamboo, same thing happened in China when they started winding filament in China. Originally, they used welding wire spools because that was also 1.75 millimeter. Because in general, welding wire was kind of standardized across the world to be 1.75 millimeter. So they also had welding wire spools in China, but they had their own standard of spool size that was just slightly smaller than American spools. Just slightly. Like, if you put it into a welding machine, the welding machine would not care. It would accept it, no problem. But when you then go to make an enclosure that relies on this smaller spool size, what's going to happen? It's not going to work. So the other reason that the Bamboo AMS doesn't quite fit American spools is the third reason. Third reason, and this is of course not 100% confirmed, do with this information as you wish. I do strongly believe it to be true because of everything we've seen from Bamboo as of late. Intentionally making it so other companies' spools don't fit. Let us all remember, when the AMS was first released, almost no spools fit except for Bamboo spools. Polymaker spools didn't fit. Protopostal spools didn't fit. Obviously, our spools didn't fit. Prusa spools didn't fit. Nothing fit. Only Bamboo spools and like some spools that like were just so happened to be smaller than Bamboo spools fit. That was it. Why? One, there's no spool standard. Two, kind of forces you to use Bamboo spools. So that's the other like the tinfoil hat reason. So yeah, that's why our Jesse spools don't fit in AMSs. That's why they're a little wider than what you normally would. Yeah, why not switch to Prusa style spool with printed solid sides and cardboard center? We very well could, but it's more expensive. It is part of the reason why Filament is more expensive than Jesse. We have a supplier for our welding wire spools, and that allows us to be as cheap as we currently are because They're welding wire spools. They're already being made in mass production for welding wire. So we can buy it really cheaply because it's not a filament specific spool. Filament specific spools are going to be a little bit more money because they are made specifically for 3D printing. They are not generalized for an industry that's already super massive. They are more niche. So the quantities are lower in production. So that's why we still use welding wire spools. They're super cheap. We are always evaluating and testing new spools, but this time we're doing way more long-term testing than we did in the past. We want to make sure whatever spool we move to is actually a good choice of spool. Because if we don't, then what will happen with the cardboard spools might happen again. And we don't want that. We want to make sure whatever spool we move to, if we move to another spool at all, it actually can stand the test of time. So we're taking our time, making sure it works before we jump to anything. Enjoy your history lesson. Maybe on one of these streams I'll go into why drying filament like PLA is stupid and useless, and what you're really just doing is re-annealing the filament. That's it. I have a few of those welding wire spools. Was just doing some welding today. There you go. Yeah, if we had somebody that was like, man, your spools don't fit in the AMS, and you were like, yeah, because it's a welding wire spools, and they're like, no wonder they look so familiar. I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh man, I'm just gonna rewind your spool. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, just do that. You don't, unless you live in the swamps of Florida, you don't have to dry your filament if it's PLA or PETG, because PLA and PETG is not hydroscopic. It's the colorant that is, and when you dry it, you're just re-annealing it. You're not drying it, you're re-annealing it. So, more fun information with Nomad. Okay, let's get a spool of Galaxy Black loaded into Lich here. So let's go ahead. Oh, this is cool. Print another one. This time doesn't fail. Yeah, really like knowing the way behind something. I love the fact that I'm working for Printology because I'm learning all these like reasons as to why things are done the way they are. And it's fascinating. It's so fascinating, and people don't talk about this as much as they probably should, because it's just like one of those things. If you're in that part of the industry, you just kind of know it, but like not everyone knows it. There's so much cool shit. Like, okay, for example, again, this goes back to like drying filament. Your filament is packaged wet. Every spool filament is packaged wet. Some companies will go through the process and put it in an oven, but like most don't. Like, okay, these 2.3 kilogram spools I have up there, they are almost 5 years old. They print just fine. They don't need to be dried. They print fine. Because the colorant that we use in that is not hydroscopic. So it's not absorbing moisture. Anyway, so, for example, this is the same way that Filament does it. So, we can all agree, Filament is a high-quality spool, right? It's a high-quality filament. Yeah? That's something we can all agree on, right? Filament is high quality. Yeah, so Filament's high quality. Guess what they do? It comes off the extruder line, straight onto a spool, and then it gets vacuum sealed. That's it. And in the filament line, it goes through a bath of water. Jesse's the same way. We run the filament through a bath of water to form the shape of the filament, and then we spool it, and then we vacuum seal it. We just put a little bag of desiccant in there. That's it. We don't dry it. It literally comes off the line, moist. And then you print with it just fine. It is what causes degradation of filament is UV damage. As the number one destruction of PLA is exposure to UV. That's it. It's not that the filament is wet. It's not that, you know, there's this problem or that problem. It's that you have exposed it to UV, so the polymer chains have started to degrade a bit. And the solution to that is simply re-anneal your filament. By re-annealing the filament, you reform the exterior of it, and it makes it easy to print with again. It makes it less brittle because you're re-annealing the filament. It is not that you were drying the filament, you're re-annealing it. You are bringing it close to its glass transition temperature, not to let moisture escape, but to let the polymer chains reform. Yeah. So that's something a lot of people don't know. Like, it is, drying filament is such a misconception. Now, mind you, that's not the case for all filament. Peak, for example, absolutely has to be dried, like properly dried. And, you know, ABS, ASA, those sometimes need to be dried. Like, yes, there is a part to the drying process. Like, if moisture gets into some filaments that are hygroscopic, that will cause problems. But PLA and PG are not hygroscopic. They're not. It is the colorant that might be hygroscopic. For titanium ASA, for example, I love it. I love the color. I love how it looks. The colorant is hygroscopic as hell. It is so hygroscopic that if you leave it out for one day, it will become brittle and break apart. The stringing I was seeing in my Polymaker PLA filament from leaving the AMS open was because of a coloring breakdown. That is okay. So I can't say for certain. Polymaker is weird. So it could be from the colorant breaking down. That could be it. It also could be the additives that they use, absorbing moisture. So I can only speak for Jesse filament and Percival. We don't use additives. We don't use anything else. We just use the raw PLA pellets and the colorant. That's all we put in. That's it. So if we add non-hygroscopic colorant to non-hygroscopic filament, you have non-hygroscopic filament, which can be set out and left, and as long as it's not exposed to UV for an extended period of time, it'll print just fine. But other companies, for example, Polymaker has admitted this with Polyterra. They will add additional minerals and rocks and crap into the filament, which causes it to be slightly abrasive. They will add that to the filament to get the desired look, but also to make it so they put in less PLA pellets, so it's cheaper to make. Because the most expensive part of PLA is the PLA. Like, that's the most expensive part of filament. So the less PLA you can put in a filament and still have it print, the more money you make. Because then you could charge it for however you want. So all these additives that are probably added in order to make filament cheaper to manufacture, that can also be part of the problem. So that could be hygroscopic. That could be absorbing moisture. That could be causing straying or, you know, causing heat problems. If you're having straying, adjust your filament temperature by 1 to 2 degrees. Don't change it by 5 degrees. Don't change it by 10 degrees. Try 1 to 2 degrees. Just step it a little bit, little bit, little bit. Because remember, the difference between a boiling pot of water, like a full boiling pot of water, is the difference of 1 to 2 degrees. You can get a pot of water to be 98 degrees Celsius and it won't boil. And at ocean level, you can get it to 98, 99 degrees Celsius, it won't boil. Once it hits, once some of the water hits 100 degrees Celsius, that's when it starts to boil. It doesn't just, it doesn't gradually. Like, 1 degree Celsius is a major difference. If you live in a Celsius environment, like where you use Celsius as a day-to-day measure of temperature, you'll really truly understand just how much half of a Celsius degree is really actually different. Like in my car, I typically keep my car to 20 degrees Celsius. If it's a little bit warmer that day, I'll set my internal car temperature to 19.5 degrees Celsius, because that is different enough of a temperature change for it to feel colder in my car. And if it, is a little bit of a cold day, I will set my car to 20.5 or 21 degrees Celsius on the inside. And that is enough for me to stay warm. It is a 1 degree difference between that range, between, within the comfortable zone, between the warmer side of feeling comfortable and the colder side of feeling comfortable. Like, we've gotten so used to these numbers being so big that we think, oh, a 5 degree difference is kind of like an actual step in the change of degree. But no, it's 1 to 2 degrees. 1 to 2. I say 1 to 2. 1 is really the answer, but 1 to 2 because there's a little bit of variation between nozzles. Sorry, I could rant about this all day. This is stuff I'm learning by working at Printed Solid, and it is really fascinating. Like, it is truly, truly fascinating, and I love learning about it. What's wild is when I see, like I used to be a skeptic of what I'm saying right now. Like, with, like, the 1 to 2 different, like, I would always adjust it by, like, 1 to 2, like, and just kind of wing it. But no, I'm starting to realize, man, these printers are a little more precise than what I thought. Like, I hate that Orca Slicer, the temp tower. It's like, dude, come on. Let me step it in, like, 1 degree increments. Just let me do the thing. All right, give me a second, guys. Go. Let's grab the phone. Discontinue what you... Absolutely, just like salting the roads. It only works if it's cold, but 1 degree over the lowered freezing point, and it... Yeah. That's why I like Fahrenheit instead of more range. That's why I hate Fahrenheit. 1 degree under lowered... Yeah. I got what you mean. And yeah, that's why I hate Fahrenheit. I hate Fahrenheit because it's like... I don't know. You're gonna tell that, dude. If you asked me, if you held a gun to my head and said, "What is the boiling point in Fahrenheit?" I'd just be like, "Shoot me now," because I'll never be able to tell you. I don't know what it is. What is it? Because I don't know. Celsius, 0, freezing, 100, boiling. Makes sense to me. $212. Why is it 212? Why? Why is it such an arbitrary number? I would have totally been fine if Fahrenheit just decided, okay, boiling is 200. And I understand that it's like based off of, the temperature of salt water with ice cubes or something like that. Like I get that, like, it is meant to be like, oh, it helps better measure the human body, or I don't care, man. Just give me more decimal points on Celsius. That's fine with me. I'd rather be able to divide by 5 and 10 than whatever arbitrary numbering system that Fahrenheit uses.
Fight me. Okay. So this is ready. Let's go ahead and slice that. It's kind of based off gravity and pressure. I don't care. I don't care. Zero isn't freezing, so it don't make sense to me. I prefer my metric systems greatly. I greatly prefer my metric systems. I'm a born American citizen. Fuck the imperial system, man. I like my metric system. Wow, this is gonna take 21 hours to print. Oh boy. 3 bins. We're gonna take 21 hours to print. Yeah, nothing is divisible properly. That's why I hate it. The burning passion of 1,000 suns. Yeah, this still looks like it's under extruding. I think my extruder gear is just gunked up. I'm just gonna not use this Prusa Mini until we get the new Bondtech extruder. Yeah, and the screw size being fractions. Oh my god, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Just see, with an M5, I know I need a 5mm hole to make it work. I don't need to know. And now I have all these Imperial screws. I want to punch myself. Like, I have a bunch of number 2 screws. Like, what the fuck is a number 2 screw? How am I supposed to use that? The metric standard of bolts is so much nicer. Because, like, oh yeah, M5, 5mm hole. Oh, M3, 3mm hole. Cool. All right. I bet you can't guess what the diameter of an M6 bolt is. Can you? Can you? If you guessed 6mm, fucking right. and the system for the metric bolts is just, it's so much easier. M3x12? Oh man, I wonder what that means. It can't mean that it's a 3mm diameter bolt that's 13mm long, or I said 12mm long. Can it? Oh boy. Makers on the millimeter system were smart. Yeah, they were. Fucking, meanwhile, like, I got a bunch of Imperial screws because I did projects that were based off of Imperial measurements. And I'm sitting here like, oh man, how many millimeters is 1/16 of an inch? Why do I need 1/16? Why do I need to know that it's 5/32? 32nd? Like, what? What's a 5? What is that fraction? How do I measure that on a ruler? At least with a ruler on the metric system, I know that, you know, 0.5mm is going to roughly be between the 2 lines on that ruler. Or, you know, like, hey, I can roughly get a fraction of a millimeter to actually where it is on the ruler. Like, I can actually discern at this point in my life, I can discern the difference between 0.2mm and 0.4mm. Because I see it every freaking day. But if you asked me what the difference between 5/32, 5/30 seconds, and 5/30 seconds and, like, you know, 2/6 of an inch, I'd just be like, screw you. I'm not doing math to figure out what the difference between those two numbers are. I'm not doing multiplication in order to figure out how many of a 30 seconds is, you know, 3/8. I'm not doing that. No. Yeah, I know in Fusion it will convert it, which is awesome. You just type in the number and it's like, oh, this. Yeah, I get that. Like, 0 being a cold day and 100 being a hot day. That I get. That I understand. But like, 20 degrees Fahrenheit is a cold day. Like, 20 degrees Fahrenheit is a cold day. 60 degrees is comfortable. Yeah, 100 is uncomfortable. You know what's also easy? 0 Celsius. If it's 0 degrees outside, I'm wearing a fucking heavy jacket. I'm wearing a coat. I'm bundling the hell up because I know it's actually freezing. 10 degrees outside, I'm wearing a hoodie. I'm Gucci. I'm wearing a hoodie. Maybe a light hoodie if I'm feeling good that day. 15 degrees? Oh, I might wear shorts. I might be crazy enough to do that. 20 degrees? I'm wearing whatever the hell I want. 25 degrees? Oh, it's a little warm. Let's wear a t-shirt. 30? Ooh, yeah. Definitely wearing shorts on that day. 40? I'm not going outside. In Celsius, every 5 degrees is a slight wardrobe change. Every 10 degrees is a major wardrobe change. That's how easy it is. That's how easy it is. Quarter my boxers while cutting grass. Oh man. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to do a filament giveaway. Make sure to hop into that. Yeah, so everything, you want blood boiling. Back in the day when I had early 80s old station wagon and I went engine first time, only find out like half the parts were metric and yeah, no, that still happens. I had a Kia. Kia was the same way. Half of it was metric, half of it was imperial. I hated it. I hated it. Ah! What was I gonna say? Fuck. Oh yeah, so everything in my life is metric now. Everything is metric. My car is in Celsius. My house is in Celsius. My phone's in Celsius. Everything's in Celsius. I've embraced Celsius into my life. Same thing for, metric. I don't measure things in inches or feet. Sometimes I will because you can't escape it here in the United States. But like when I designed this room, I did it in metric because that's what I know. What's really funny, what's really, really funny, it's that nowadays the metric system is actually based off of the laws of physics. So like a millimeter is defined by the amount, by the distance in which a light particle can travel within a vacuum. Yeah, what's easier, 12 millimeters or 0.472? Yeah, 12 mil. Anyway, so the metric system is now defined by laws of physics that can be observed by physics itself, which is awesome. Which also means that our system of measurement is not based off of weird arbitrary units of measure that exist in the world. Like, for example, a kilogram used to be defined by a thing in a jar that was like, this was a kilogram. Like, this was a kilogram. And in order to make a kilogram, it would have to weigh equal to that. And that's what a kilogram was defined as. And if that thing got lighter, then the entirety of the universe, all of our measurement would be wonky. So we've now defined it based off of observable mathematics that cannot change unless the laws of physics themselves change. Which then we have a whole weird party to attend. So with all that being said, what's really great is that nowadays the imperial system is defined by the metric system. If you look up the definition of an inch, let me actually verify this real quick before I say what I'm about to say. What defines an inch? Okay. Since 1959, the inch has been officially defined as 2.54 centimeters.
Since 1959, the imperial system has been based off metric. How asinine is that? It's great. Don't get me wrong. I love it because that means that I know for a fact there's a guaranteed, way to convert the two. But we're already using the metric system. We're just using it with a mask on. The United States already uses the metric system. It is just masked. The United States unit of measurement is an autistic child that is pretending to be something else. The United States system of measurement is masking right now. And I can say that because I'm diagnosed. Or not officially diagnosed. I was diagnosed as a kid. I need to be re-diagnosed as an adult. I'm sorry. I'm going to tweet that later. The United States imperial system is defined by a metric system, but it's masking. Just like I do when I go to a party. Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to like and subscribe. We get into the really fun stuff here. The Phantom of the Opera style, yeah. Okay. Anyway, we have filament giveaways to do. So let me go ahead and bring this over back to Edge real quick. Where's Edge? There's Edge. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's getting a little tired here. All right. Here we go. Wheel of names. Let me go ahead and pull the list that we are drawing from. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, go ahead and jump into the pinned link. We are giving away 2 spools tonight. So we are giving away 2 spools of Jesse Filament. So 2 people are going to win. This adds off mystery. We're going to go ahead and close submissions now. Let's go ahead and do this. All right. 24. Okay. Let's shuffle. And let me go ahead and pull up the store here so I can actually get things ready for you all. And let's go ahead and spin. Let's see who wins. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Up. Oh. And our first winner is Skyrim. Skyrim, are you here? Sound off in the chat if you are. Skyrim, if you are here, sound off in the chat. We'll give you a minute, so until 11:14. Remember, you have to be present in order to win. No Skyrim, only Oblivion. Right? I actually started playing Oblivion. It's pretty good. He took an arrow to the knee. We're going to give him a minute here. Give him a minute to respond. It is possible they passed out. Let's see. Once it strikes 11:14, though, we are going to spin again. All right, it's 11:14.
All right, we're gonna spin again. If Skyrim does respond by the time we get to this the end of the second drawing, then we will honor his first win and give it to him. If they do not respond by the time we pick our second winner, then we are going to draw again. So we're doing 2 giveaways today. So let's go ahead and remove that. And let's see who wins the second spool. Let's see. Are you gonna win? Are you gonna win? Are you? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Some Jesse. Is it a first time? Cyber Bob City, congratulations! Are you still in the chat, Cyber Bob? I think I saw you earlier. Cyber Bob, are you still here? Yeah, so close, Reverend. I was actually really excited for you there. Well, let's give them until 11:16. Let's give them a minute. Need Cyber Bob to sound off in chat to tell us that he's here. Cyber Bob? Cyber Bob? You want a spool Filament, Cyber Bob? Alright, 11:16 came way too quickly, so we'll give him another minute. Can't tag them, no! Really? I mean, I can tag them. They just haven't chatted in a bit. There you go. He responded. All right. I'm glad we gave you that extra minute there. All right, you have won a spool of Jesse. Congratulations. Let me go ahead and get that. We're gonna respin because Skyrim has sadly not responded yet. So we will be doing another spin here. So give me a second to create Cyber Bob's order so that we can get this spool of Filament over to him. And I do see that you've ordered with us in the past, Cyber Bob. Do appreciate your patronage. Make sure everything's matching. Ooh. It is so much easier when people have purchased stuff from us before. It makes things so much easier. You picked Gold Rush. Gold Rush is good. I like Gold Rush. 100%. Filament in giveaway. Then, remember guys, we got one more to give away. So stay tuned. We're gonna spin again. I'm getting this out the door so that I don't have to worry about it again. All right. Thank you, Cyber Bob, for participating. You should get a confirmation of the order to your email. Let me know if you get that, and let me know if you don't for whatever reason. But while you confirm that, let's go ahead and spin again to see who wins the last spool here. Oh, hold on. Let me refresh. I forgot to do that. We always gotta shuffle. Always gotta shuffle to help make sure it's more fair and random. All right, let's see who wins spool. Who wins spool? Who wins spool? Who's winning? Who's winning? Is it Reverend? Does Reverend get his victory back here? Let's see. Let's see. I swear, if it actually ends up being Reverend, that'd be hilarious. Oh. 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 Oh.
AJC, are you here, AJC? AJC, are you here? Yeah, that was really close. All right, AJC is here. Congratulations, AJC. You have won a spool of Jesse. Let's see, what did you pick? What did you pick, good sir? Yeah, I like to extend out the actual giveaway. Oh, you are not in our system. This is your first time with Jesse, isn't it? That's exciting. Go ahead and just get you into the system here so that we can ship you the filament. All right. Well, I am so glad to see that this is your first time getting filament. I see that you've selected Yellowbird. Yellowbird's good. Do you want PTG Yellowbird or PLA Yellowbird? You didn't specify PG or PLA. Which one would you like? PLA, please. All right. Good, because we're low on PLA. Or on that one at least. Filament stream giveaway. Gonna add a note. First time winner, Jesse user. Give extra airheads. Free shipping. Yeah, whenever someone on my stream gets Jesse for the first time, I always enjoy or at least is a first-time customer, rather. If this is your first order from Printed Solid, or your first time with Jesse, I like to add a note to say add extra airheads. Because I have the power to do that. Alright. AJC, please confirm whether or not you get the shipping or the order confirmation. I asked for peeling ASA one time, not from Jesse. Interesting. Got Nightshade from another giveaway, and it's awesome. Hell yeah. I do love Nightshade. Okay, there we go. Imagine getting the non-existent Jesse ASA by mistake. I mean... ladies and gentlemen, we give away spools every stream. So, what's really awesome about having a small community here is that it is really easy for you to win filament. And this is... Rebooting. I'm okay. Back to what I was saying. Since we have a very small community here, I love it. It means that I get to actually know you guys. I get to interact with you guys way more than what one might do with a much larger following. But what that also means is that you guys have a very high likelihood of winning. Because of RNG, we've had people win multiple times and have cited me as the actual, what they use for their filament source, which is hilarious. I love it. But it also means that you guys get to try out new filaments. So you get to try out Jesse, where you may not have been able to try it out before, which is awesome. I threw my back out sneezing like that. Oh man, I know that sneezing is going to be the death of me because of how violent I sneeze. I'm going to sneeze one day and my heart's going to be like, all right, check me out. I'll be 80 and be like, anyway.
But yeah, I do love the fact that you guys have such a high chance of winning. That's awesome, and it means that every stream that we do, there's a good chance you'll get some Jesse. Yeah, die by sneezing. What a way to go! I just commented on a video. There's a pudding commercial from Japan called Putty Putty for Giga Pudding. And I just commented on that video saying, play this at my funeral. Because at my funeral, I just want everyone to be bombarded by Putty Putty! Putty Putty! I want to troll everybody that goes to the wake. Just troll the absolute loving shit out of them. Don't get me started on Japanese commercials, it's so weird, right? Alright, it's 11:30. I have work tomorrow. And some of you guys also probably have work tomorrow as well. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Hey, alright, if you're going to Rocky Mountain Rap Rap Festival, I'm gonna be there. If you want to get your positron signed, feel free to bring a printed part or bring the positron itself. I will happily sign your positron. Normally the carbon fiber pieces as well as the printed parts are the best parts to sign. So I will be happy to sign it if you want me to. If you don't want me to, that's fine too. I don't care. I will be hanging at the LDO booth, but I also will be hanging out at the Prusa booth every once in a while, because you know I kind of work from them now. So come stop by, come say hello. And I'm excited to see you guys. I'm excited to have fun. We're gonna celebrate my birthday at Rocky Mountain, so we're gonna have a grand old time. It's gonna be awesome, and I can't wait to see you all there. So hey, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Make sure to hug your loved ones. Hey, it's Mother's Day this weekend. Did you get her flowers? You better. Make sure to call her. Call your mothers. Don't be me. Don't forget flowers on Easter. Anyway, have a wonderful night, everybody. Peace out. Love yourselves more, etc., etc. Good night.